Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 2021 Landowner Symposium. This has been an amazing, amazing event so far. I hope you all are enjoying it. Both everybody that's here in person as well as everybody who's been attending virtually. I believe that we had, last time I checked, over 288 people who had registered to be a part of this event, either in person or virtually. That's quite a feat. We've had people who've traveled here from as far out as Texas, New Jersey, New York, Washington, D.C., Colorado, just to be here with us today to talk about this very important issue, which is heirs property and Black land laws. It's a very important issue that we've been talking about in depth today. We've heard about forestry initiatives. We've heard about farming, agriculture. We've also heard about, we had a Meet the Judges panel where the judges came out and gave us some advice about things that have been going on and reviewing legal cases. And tomorrow we have another action-packed day, well, action-packed half day for you guys in store. So tonight, what we're gonna do is celebrate really what I consider to be the heart and soul of this organization. Everything that we do here at the center, we have a staff of about 33, last I checked, 33 people last time I checked. But we have over 80 WCAs. We have over 80 WCAs. And what we consider the WCA or Woodland Community Advocates to be is really what I consider to be the evangelists, right? So in a church, you got the pastor, right? The pastor's job is to, teach the flock, right? The flock is the people of the church, right? But then you have the evangelists. And the evangelist's job is to go out and say, let me tell you about my church. You got to hear my pastor preach. You got to hear my choir sing. Let me tell you about the fellowship that we have after church together when we go bowling on Sundays. That's what they do, right? And our Woodland Community Advocates, that's what they do for us. They go out to the community and say, hey, there's a resource that you need to know about. There's an issue that you probably haven't even heard of that's impacted your family for generations. And I know an organization that can help you to fix that. That organization is the Center for Heirs Property Preservation. And they may not be in our area yet, but if we do our part as WCAs, they will be. So we take great pride in this program. So I wanted to start out by just talking a little bit about what the actual program is, and then we'll have a little discussion. We'll do some recognitions, and then we'll have a discussion hearing from some people who are in the WCA program. Is that all right? Yeah. All right, cool. I like your claps. That's cool. All right, next slide. So here's a photo of WCAs at a WCA graduation, much like this, but before, we were afraid of catching diseases and stuff. So, next slide. So what does it mean to become a WCA, all right? So it means that you become a messenger in your community. Your central message is, hey neighbor, the center can help you. That may mean that you live in a city. That may mean you live in a rural area. That may mean you live in suburbia. Each of us, regardless of where we live, chances are we've been impacted in our families by some type of heirs property, whether we know it or not. Next slide. So what's a WCA do? A WCA is an advocate that helps to spread the word of the center to your friends and family, church friends, community organizations, and serve as a liaison between your community and the center. You help schedule the center's education seminars and workshops at your church, community center, senior center, and introduce the center to this community, so center staff to the community leaders we should get to know. I can read. I can read, but I don't have on my glasses. But that's what they do. Go ahead, next slide. So, to become a WCA, the first thing that you need to do is fill out an application, right? We have an application process that is very simple. I think it's pretty simple. Is it simple? All right, it's cool, simple. All right, so fill out an application. Once you fill out the application, we'll have our quarterly session. So we have a quarterly session. Once a quarter, we bring in a new group of WCAs. That's how we're able to grow the volunteer pool. Once you fill out the application and we get to that time frame where you actually go through the sessions, there's a 5-week training program, all right? It's not every day for 5 weeks. It's one night a week for 5 weeks. Normally, it's the same day of the week at the same time of the week, every week for 5 weeks. And over that period of time, we start out with an orientation, just letting you know, what is a WCA? At that time, you also get a presentation about the center services and what we offer there. The second session, we talk about the legal and forestry initiatives that the center focuses on. The third session is on leadership and outreach techniques. That session is actually taught by our illustrious CEO, Dr. Jenny Stevens. If you're watching, Ms. Jenny, you're illustrious. Session 4, we do a gentrification and zoning workshop, which is led by our manager of strategic initiatives, Ms. Esther Adams. And then our session 5 is conflict resolution, which is normally led by our director of legal services. You put those together and you have exactly what you need to be able to go out into your community and spread the word about the work of the center. But the one thing we teach you that you never ever do, that you never ever ever do as a WCA is what, WCAs? You don't give legal advice. Ms. Renee, you see that? All right. You do not give legal advice. We are not teaching you to be a lawyer. You do not get you do not, get a Juris Doctorate or anything like that that allows you to give legal advice. Your message is, if you have an issue related to heirs property, I know an organization that I can connect you with. Here's what they can offer you if you just contact them. Next slide. So, with that being said, we're gonna have a conversation tonight. Well, first, before we do that, sorry. So tonight we will have a conversation with members of the WCA group who will share their experience as members in the program and how they're making a difference in their communities. We're also gonna acknowledge the newest graduates of the WCA Institute and WCAs who have been serving in their respective communities throughout the year. The Woodland Community Advocate Liaison, I already talked about that, so we're not gonna do that. Oh, I am. The Woodland Community Advocate WCAs are a group of volunteers that we talked about, we train to speak about the work that the center does in the community. They host presentations, help us spread the word of limiting land loss, and some have even gone on to become board members. Most notably, our board chair of the Center for Heirs Property Preservation, Ms. Yvonne Knight Carter, started out as a WCA. Give her a hand. Can you stand? Can you stand? Give her a hand. Not only is she a WCA and a board chair and a phenomenal person, she's also her district's tree farmer of the year. Yes? In the blurry shape that I'm looking at, just put a thumb up, I think. So I think I'm right. Okay, cool. So I'm really excited to let you guys hear from them. But before we do, I do want to acknowledge the WCAs who've completed the program this year from late last year until early this year. All right, so if you are in the room, please come up when I call your name. If you're not and you're watching virtually, you're receiving your stuff virtually. I'm gonna mail it to you, it's cool. All right, Annie Howard, Benjamin Muhammad, Brenda Singleton, Chris Harris, Clifton King IV, Cynthia Roddy, Daria Clark, Denise Ladston Johnson, Diane Hamilton, Dr. James Myers, Eleanor Murray, Grace Walker, Iris Johnson Arnold, James Hampton, Kelly Whitaker, Michael Aiken II, Michael Kennedy, Orisa Roddy, Vivian Elliott, Watson Fennell Jr., and Willie Waring. If you're here, please come up. Yes, Ms. Demetra, I need your help. I should have thought about that earlier. You asked me. Sorry, men, right? Can y'all stand up front and take a photo for you? Yeah. Come, Ms. Kelly, you come over here and take a photo. So they're receiving their ceremonial graduation plaque as well as their name tag as official WCAs. Now, something really interesting happened last year. Up until last year, when I took over the WCA program in 2020, we really had limited the access of WCAs, largely because of the fact that our reach had been pretty limited in terms of the way we delivered the institutions. Last year, when COVID hit, chaos creates creativity. And so we moved a lot of stuff virtually, as y'all know. Being able to move virtually allowed us to actually expand our services outside of the state of South Carolina. So we now have WCAs from, where are you from? Washington, D.C. I know where he's from. I just wanted him to tell y'all. But I just think that's an amazing thing. We also have, I know Iris Arnold Johnson, she's in Tennessee. We have Vivian Kirkland, she's in Texas. So the WCA program, though it's rooted right here in the Lowcountry, something we can all be very proud of, is spreading across the country in a very real and meaningful way. And people are having this discussion about heirs property all across the country. As Ms. Jenny mentioned this morning, we formed a partnership in the state of Mississippi. The work is spreading. But again, it all comes back to the work of those WCAs. So please give them another hand. All right, I have one more thing of acknowledgments to do, and then we're gonna have our panel. All right, so this year, another thing that I've sort of implemented, because I wanna make sure that people are able to be engaged and really be a part of this process. Sometimes that means that I have to change things that people don't like, and I understand, but I promise you I'm doing my best because I want it to be the best program it could possibly be. So I created this process where WCAs, when they do something in the community, they're actually able to complete an activity form that says what they were able to do, the amount of time that it took for them to do it, so that we can actually count the amount of hours that WCAs have spent in their respective communities being impactful. And so with that, I also wanted to include in this graduation an opportunity to recognize those people who've completed that process. So I want to call up these people who have completed their forms and got their time in. Ms. Ruth Borunda, Ms. Inez Miller, Ms. Vivian Kirkland, Myrtle Sumter, Aniqua Bailey, Alverta Bowens, Dora Anderson, and Laura Manigault. Yeah, photo them. And Dora Anderson, correct? Yes, I got yours in the back. Yes, ma'am. Take a picture up there. Who am I missing? All right. Give him another hand. So I want to be clear. Just because those are names I called doesn't mean that those are only WCAs that have been doing work in the community. Because like I told you, we have over 80 WCAs that are attached to the program. It's just the form. So let's do the form, please. Do the form. Thank you. Don't beat me up. Just do the form. Thank you. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to my illustrious co-host for this event. She's a new young lady to the Center for Heirs Property Preservation. There she is. All right, new young lady to the Center for Heirs Property Preservation. She's come on like a rocket ship. She's an amazing young person, and I'm excited to work with her and to build with her. And she's gonna be facilitating tonight's discussion. So I'm gonna call up my illustrious teammate, Miss Dora Lisa Adams. Give her a hand. Hmm? All right, and we're also going to call our panelists up, Ms. Aniqua Bailey, Ms. Inez Miller, and Ms. Ruth Baronda. Ms. Ruth.
Good evening. So as we get situated, I am Dorlisa Adams. I am one of the outreach liaisons for the Center for Heirs Property Preservation. I am serving Calhoun, Marlboro, Dillon, and Lee counties. So since I've been, getting to know this work and jumping on board, I've actually had the pleasure of meeting Miss Ruth at one of the WCA events. So I'm pretty excited to be here tonight. This is my first event coming here, and I am very excited and glad to be a part of a wonderful organization. So I have 5 questions that I am going to ask these wonderful ladies on the panel. And if you all have any questions at the end, you may walk to the microphone, but they will be talking about their experience with being a WCA. So my first question will be, please introduce yourself and explain why you joined the WCA. And we will give each young lady here 2 to 3 minutes to talk. We have 30 minutes. Miss Inez, you can go first.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Inez Miller. And the reason I became a WCA is because it's much needed in my community on St. Helena Island, South Carolina, where there's a lot of land loss. So I've been trying diligently to get the word out too, in so many ways. And if you have any pointers for me tonight to add to my list, I'll take it.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Aniqua Bailey, and I am a realtor by trade. And the way I came to the WCA program is I actually went to a financial literacy event in January of 2020, and that's where I met Miss Alexa. She's a representation of the Center for Heirs Property. And we just had like a small candid conversation and left it at that. A few months later, I got an email about this program. And she was saying, hey, would you like to become, Woodlands Community Advocate? Because I had expressed to her that just some situations in my own family. My great-grandmother recently passed within the last 3 years, and she did have a will, and she's willed that land to my grandparents, my grandmother and her siblings, but like some families, they're having issues with coming to an agreement on certain things. And so I know, just like how you guys know, heirs property, the ways that it can happen, right? Disagreements, people not taking action, and then in the future, that's a possibility of what could happen. And so I care about my family, I care about my future, and the future of our family, and so I wanted to get some information and just be in a place where education on this matter is prevalent. And so she sent me the email to say, hey, would you like to join this group we're having? And I said, yeah. I actually responded the day before the class started, and they still welcomed me in, and I was so happy. I completed the program in August, and here we are today. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ruth Borunda, and I believe in generational wealth. And as you see from my money house, money doesn't grow on trees, but you can get money from your trees, okay? As a retired teacher, I believe in the influence of a good teacher can never be erased. Right. And that's what we are up here. We try our best to share the information about the Center for Heirs Property. We really believe in what they do, what they're doing for us, and what they can do for the community. It took a lot of years in preparation to become a teacher. But to represent the Center for Heirs Property, you have to go through the sessions, and you will really benefit yourself and your community for doing it. So if I was given more time, I'd give you more information, but we'll be answering questions. Thanks.
So ladies, our next question, what do you like about being a WCA?
You can go.
I like coming to the workshops.
Right?
They make sure they reiterate what you learn over and over again. Make sure it sinks in there. I like the networking during the breaks. We discover we have things in common. I love it. It's awesome, and I encourage people to come on out to the next one. Don't miss it.
right? I love the resources that are available. One thing in my line of work is I actually connect people to resources in the community, whether it's like food banks where they can get food, personal hygiene, stuff like that, and also where they can get clear title to land, and help with making wills. So I like the resources that we have, and the fact that I have the information to give to the people.
I believe in the more you know, the less you know. So coming to an event like this has really added more knowledge to what I know, but also for me to believe that I am not a lawyer. And as the lawyer spoke earlier, you will find that they're going to come to you as a WCA advocate and ask you some legal questions, and you repeat that over and over, and you refer them to the center where they will get legal help and also real help.
Thank you. Third question, how have you been able to impact the community as a WCA?
Okay, I'll go. So earlier in the year, actually due to COVID last year, every person in my house, their career changed. My sister was a private contractor. She was furloughed. She couldn't go to work. I was in the hospitality industry. I was laid off, and I had to change fields, right? And so in that, we ended up we had time to think about, hey, how can we give back? What can we do that was outside of our norm, right? So we started volunteering at the Community Resource Center of North Charleston, where they give out food to the community. And then I started going to different educational events. Again, that's how I found the WCA program, right? So with us changing our careers, we wanted to give back to the community. So my sister, she ended up starting a company called Royal Cosmetic, LLC. And I partnered with her, and we did a community give back. Where we were donating clothes, food, haircuts, just going out into the community and letting people know, again, that there are resources, right? And then more recently, with me going into real estate, I now host homebuyer seminars. And at my homebuyer seminars, I also have like a section and a table for the Center for Heirs Property Preservation. Because I don't know who's coming to these events. I don't know what their needs are. You don't know what questions they're gonna ask you. But again, having resources and having access to those resources, we just have a place for the center to be there. So if anyone does have heir property questions or any legal questions, because again, we're not we're not attorneys, we can have people there who can answer those questions.
My experience is that at my home and on my forestry land, I built a deck 60 feet by 30, and it was ready for COVID. It's open air, and I would have events paired up with my partner, who is Kenneth Dunn, my forester. So due to Kenneth's clients, who's in Darlington and other locations like Marion, we've been able to set up monthly events. I graduated in October. November, I had a meeting. December, I had a meeting, sometimes with 1 or 2 people, sometimes with the whole family. So I talked about the WCA experience and what the center could offer, and Kenneth co-tagged with me talking about the forestry. So between those two, we would host an event from 1 to 3. I had a girlfriend that was a caterer, and we fed them, gave them drinks, and they left very happy and called the center, I hope.
Nice.
I try to attend some of the events in my community on St. Helena, like festivals. And I have 2 people tonight who learned about the center through me, Mr. Ben Muhammad and Miss Grace. I think they're graduating virtually. And then I have a former school teacher, Miss Brenda Singleton. I used to be her substitute for her class, so I'm proud of that. And I get the word out in the community any and everywhere that I can. We also do food banks. I get it to funeral homes, post office, in the county building on the 15th. The taxes are due on that date, easy payment, people that are on those programs. And I go to the line with the newsletter. I'm constantly calling Mr. Lewis, he can tell you, to send information to me so that I have something to give to the people that's waiting to pay their taxes.
Awesome, wonderful. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. Our next question, why do you think other people should join the WCA?
I'll answer. I believe it's needed badly. Too much land loss is going on. There's a lot of programs on TV focusing on Hilton Head, St. Helena, Gullah Geechee property, and it is needed bad. That's how I believe this program got started, because we were losing too much land.
I don't know the statistics, but in this area and the surrounding areas, I'm pretty sure you can ask just about anyone, and maybe every other person can tell you they probably have heirs property, right? I do. And I don't even know. They're like, oh, your last name's Bailey? You can go out to so-and-so and you can go, be on that land. And I know it's not that simple, right? But the education is needed, and there's not enough people. I think you said there's 80 WCAs now, but think about how many families, how much heirs property is out there. There's not enough people, and so more people are needed. So that's what I think.
Whatever you're involved in, whether it's a church group, an organization, or just like they're saying, wherever you're located, you'll be surprised how many people are heirs property, or someone has died and left them property and they don't know what it means. So you have something to say. You can keep on your literature you can give out, but just try very hard to spread the word, because as you know, as much as we learned today, there's still more websites, more agencies, there's money being tried to give out, but again, if they're not ready to receive it, with a legitimate corporation, with a legitimate bank account, with some kind of information to fill out forms, especially real tax records, that the money's there. There's plenty of money there. You just have to refer people to the right sources. The more they read, the more they'll understand how they have to get themselves together and the family to do the best they can for the family.
This program is needed because land is being lost every day, and more land is not being created. So the more education we have, the more people who are out there spreading the word, who are joyfully spreading the word. I enjoy this program, I just want to say that. Who are happy to do it, who have the energy to do it, who want to do it. That's why this program is needed. That's why we need more people.
Thank you. So this is the last question here I have. And in 2 to 3 minutes, please share any parting thoughts you have for the audience about the program.
Find reasons to have an event. I've realized that people want to partner with you. You'd be surprised how many people and how many companies will partner with you and will partner with you for free, who will allow you to use spaces for free. You want to give back to the community. You want to get information out there. You want to get awareness out there. All you have to do is start talking, and people will jump on your bandwagon. And it's not even your bandwagon, because this is an issue that's bigger than all of us. But there are so many people that I have found that are wanting to partner on situations. They're just waiting for someone to speak up about it. So speak up. Again, this is on the little breakout session. Some people were asking, what is a WCA program? I stress, this is volunteer. You do not get paid for this, right? This is volunteer only. But I promise you it's fun, or at least I feel like it's fun, you know what I mean? It's an important issue. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. This is, the information that they have is important information that needs to get out to the community. Like, we're behind. Like, not just us in this room, but society, like, we are behind, and there's a lot of ground to be made up, and you have to start somewhere. So, yeah.
I've been volunteering too much all my life, and I am a member of the South Carolina Agritourism. That's a membership that's $45. You get your farm put into a book and explains what you want to do on the property to provide information to tourists coming. So rolling over to the Woodlands Community Advocate was a little bit easier for me. I also was an ambassador to the census in 2020. So I was very important. I spoke at the Darlington County meetings, the Chesterfield County meetings, and the city meetings, spreading the word about the census. And I just so happened to give all those county council people and the city people brochures on the South Carolina agritourism and information on the Center of Ware's property. So you'll be surprised if you hit some of those at the top, it'll filter down where they have to answer questions. I'm in the minutes because I'm on the agenda, and therefore the word's out there.
Invite your family and friends, co-workers to the next Woodlands Community Advocate sessions. Invite them also here to the workshops. Will's Clinic, please invite them, it's important. Bring them along, it's a must. Invite the Woodlands to your family reunions also. We'll come out
Right.
and speak and help support. Thank you.
And I'll say this too, don't be afraid and don't think, oh, no one's gonna come or who would come or why would they come? Because again, this is an important issue. And even if the people you don't know come, like you think they won't come, other people will. People who don't know you, people who are ready and who've been praying for something like this to get this information. So don't be afraid.
Thank you, ladies. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we please give Ms. Inez, Ms. Bailey, and Ms. Ruth a hand of applause for joining us for our panel. Thank you, ladies.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got your glasses.
You see that, right? So again, amazing, right? Amazing. So I picked these three young ladies for a very specific reason, all right? One, they're from three different areas of the state, right? Ms. Ruth is in Darlington, yes? And Chesterfield, yes. Anequa is in Dorchester County and Charleston. And Ms. Inez is out in Colleton County. Nope. What county is that?
Beaufort.
Beaufort, because it's St. Helena Island. So Beaufort County. So three different areas, right? All very passionate about this work and all great representatives of what this thing can be if we all put that type of passion into it. So I just wanted to make sure that I just like put them on. I wanted to make sure that when we come out, that y'all see like this is a really real thing. Ms. Ruth talked about going and being on the going to city council meetings to talk about this work. I also know she's been on radio shows talking about this work. I know Ms. Inez is out at every festival that happens in St. Helena because I will get a call or an email. Hey, I need some stuff. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I don't always get it to her when she asks me to. But I try. And Anequa's the same way. Like she said, you know, she hosts events. And when she hosts events, she said, hey, I need somebody. She'll ask me, hey, ReZsaun, can you send somebody to speak at this event that I'm having about heirs property? Even as a real estate agent. Like, imagine if real estate agents took on the issue of heirs property as instead of preying on people with heirs property. Imagine the change that we could make. So we will be starting another class of WCAs in December. I'm going to give myself November to find people to be in it. Hopefully after this, I won't have any shortage. If you're interested, email me, rlewis@heirsproperty.org. That's rlewis@heirsproperty.org. Let me know you're interested in joining the WCA program, and I will make sure I have you on that next list. But the last thing I wanted to close out on is we heard from these wonderful people about their experience. I also asked for WCAs who've been graduating to submit me a very short video just talking about their experience in the Institute. Because some people may be saying, well, this is going to be too hard for me to do. 5 weeks, that's a lot of time. I promise you it's not a lot of time, and I promise you it's not a lot to do. But I promise you can make a lot of difference. So I wanted you to hear it from them. So if you could, play the video.
My name is Iris Johnson Arnold, and I have ties to communities in Darlington, Sumter, and Columbia, South Carolina. I feel very fortunate to have attended the Woodlands Community Advocate Institute. They provided the attendees with the wealth of knowledge on zoning, planning and gentrification, leadership and outreach techniques, legal and forestry services, and conflict management, and they were all outstanding. In the future, I look forward to spreading the word and potentially hosting, not leading, but hosting sessions such as the one on zoning and forestry services. As I said, I've learned a tremendous amount during the sessions, but one statement made by one of the presenters ignited something in my soul, and that statement was land. They're not making any more of it. And so I've really become dedicated to seeing what we can do with the land that my family currently owns. So I thank everyone. I thank Mr. Lewis and all of the presenters, and I look forward to participating and spreading the word and hosting sessions. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Cynthia P. Roddy, and I would like to thank the board, the staff, and the facilitators of the workshops. The information is vital. It will help me to plan, sustain, and grow the heiress property. Thank you so much for this service.
I learned more about the Center for Heirs Property Preservation through my participation in the Woodland Community Advocate Program. I hope to use the knowledge acquired and other information to advocate for the center. I'm especially interested in encouraging community members to get a will prepared. There are many misconceptions about wills, and I hope to help dispel some of the misunderstandings and mistrust that often discourage our community members from creating wills. The center has excellent people and processes to get these done very economically, and I want to encourage those in my circle of influence to take full advantage and not create additional heirs property.
Greetings. My name is Watson Fennell Jr., and I would like to say from the outset it's very challenging to offer a testimonial in 30 seconds when in fact it would probably take 30 minutes to share with you the benefit that I received from the Center for Heirs Property and Preservation. But let me start from the beginning and say that I'm so glad that my cousin, Dr. William Small Jr., recommended this organization to me over a year ago. It has certainly allowed me the opportunity to connect, grow, and serve. And within the scope of the various seminars that I've participated in, it seems as though I'm barely scratching the surface, but in other ways, I realize there is so much more to gain with this organization. And so I'm very pleased and privileged to continue to connect, grow, and serve.
Y'all can give them a hand. So with that being said, that's really going to conclude our evening for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this first day. This has been a joy, this first day to put on. I can tell you there's been a lot of work to make this happen, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Tomorrow's going to be even better. So I'm looking forward to seeing y'all in the morning. Breakfast will be served at 7 a.m. and the first session starts at 8 a.m. I know it's early. I'm sorry. I do want, before we go, to ask all WCAs to please come to the stage so we can take a group photo with all the WCAs who are present, because we want to make sure that we show the growth of this family in the WCA group. So thank you all and enjoy your night. God bless you.